the street, dog. Just take
around so home, you stupid move!
What's wrong, Britney?
The year 2021 marked a turning point for Britney Spears. Fans who had long expressed concern about her well-being celebrated the end of her conservatorship. However, recent reports have cast a shadow of doubt. Has Britney truly gained her freedom? Could the future hold another conservatorship? In this video, we'll dive deep into the latest developments surrounding Britney's mental health, personal life, and the ongoing debate about what lies ahead for the pop icon. But before we begin, let's take a moment to acknowledge the journey that brought her here. Let's get it. Britney's life was as chaotic as her childhood when she started her pop career. The future star was born in Macomb, Mississippi on December 2nd, 1981 to Lynn Irene and James Parnell Spears, and spent her childhood in Kentwood, Louisiana. Indeed, right from her childhood, she was endowed with a flair for singing and dancing. Talent shows and beauty pageants were her platforms, where she performed as a local talent before she went on to dominate the international arena. When only 8 years old, she decided that she wanted to become famous, and for this reason, she auditioned for the show The All-New Mickey Mouse Club on the Disney Channel. Although producers at that time considered her too young, her potential was impossible to overlook due to her outstanding performance. Sensing her talent, they persuaded her to seek representation in the fast-paced world of the city found in New York, which would take her a step closer to stardom. Summer vacations were spent in New York City, where she joined the Professional Performing Arts School. The glamour of the city lights became her classroom, and she was soon doing TV advertisements. In 1991, at the age of 9, she scored a role in an off-Broadway play known as Ruthless, but she had to wait until 1993 to be rewarded for her efforts. She was cast in the all-new Mickey Mouse Club, where she danced alongside other future celebrities such as Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera. But it was not all dancing and glitters for Britney during her childhood years. Despite that, her home life remained a cause of enormous pressure throughout her life. Her parents were divorced, and her father was an alcoholic, struggling with the misfortune of a construction company. The tension usually rose to the level of spitting abusive words on her, and her mother Lynn got equally frustrated to see young Britney having to endure such treatment. In an effort to avoid such a fate, she devoted herself to singing and dancing to regain her confidence in life. These were the first glimpses into her meteoric rise to fame and her darker childhood that would mold Britney Spears into the enigmatic pop icon that she is today. Following the show's cancellation in 1995, Spears moved back to Louisiana and attempted to resume a standard teenage existence. Nevertheless, she was discovered by a talent agent, and at the age of 15, she inked a contract with Jive Records. She later relocated to New York, accompanied by a family friend, as her chaperone for the purpose of recording her first album. Her first single, Baby One More Time, was released in 1998 and received a massive response elsewhere in the world. The music video and its lyrics were deemed rather provocative, but this only served to bring more attention and fame to Spears. Her debut album of the same name came out in 1999, and this album sold over 10 million copies in the United States alone. Rising from a small-town girl in Louisiana to a world-popular pop star, Spears was in the limelight during her early teenage years. She was not only an ambitious and hard-working young woman promoted as a teen idol due to her wholesome image, but also a survivor of a challenging childhood. The success of her first two records assured Spears her title of Princess of Pop and positioned her as one of the leading pop stars of the late 90s and early 2000s. But the problems came into her life once more, this time in the form of a very scandalous love affair. In 2004, Spears received much media attention when she eloped to Las Vegas to get married to her childhood friend, Jason Alexander. They got married after a night out to celebrate, and later on in an interview, Britney Spears herself described the marriage as resulting from sheer boredom and alcohol. However, the fairy tale did not last too long. The relationship between Spears and Alexander turned into marriage for only 55 hours before it was annulled. In her book of memoirs, Spears stated that the marriage was a result of recklessness, not passion. This brief but very memorable scene was a reminder of how much pressure and stress she had when she was a young pop star in the limelight all the time. It also revealed emerging conflict in her family as Spears complained about feeling judged and restrained by the reaction of her family members to the wedding. This is because the unfolding of the incident revealed the intricate nature of their relationship and her family's reliance on her financial assistance. Still, Spears' life went through change again when she met Kevin Federline. The now famous whirlwind romance drew the attention of the media almost immediately. They first crossed paths in a Hollywood club in 2004 when Spears said to Federline, "I just want my man to give me some of that Southern comfort." And Federline, a budding backup dancer, was more than happy to oblige. However, Spears and Federline's marriage was far from private. Federline had not expected the widespread media attention that came with being married to a popular celebrity, and this proved too much for him. Everything that the couple did or said was tabloid fodder. In May 2005, Spears and Federline were blessed with their first child, a son named Sean Preston. A year later, their second son was born, and he was named Jaden James. Unfortunately, this couple could not survive fame and parenthood and decided to part ways. They divorced in 2006 after only 2 years of marriage. The divorce was bitter due to Federline's unruly life and Spears' mental instability. Spears later regretted the quick wedding, saying that she was young and in need of a normal life when she met Federline. However, after her divorce from Kevin Federline, the tension became evident in their relationship. The most painful decision for Britney, though, was the fact that she had to surrender custody of her children as provided for by the agreement. This state of emotional instability, a boiling pot due to the constant pressure of being an icon, eventually led to a set of bizarre actions on her part that raised questions about her mental health. Some of the embarrassing moments include shaving her head in public, attacking a photographer's car with an umbrella, and even changing her voice to a British accent. The situation rose to a climax in January 2008. Britney was admitted to the hospital twice for involuntary psychiatric assessments. One of the most shocking episodes was her alleged failure to bring back her sons to Federline, which culminated in confrontation with the police. Some reports portrayed her as completely unhinged during this particular episode. Her father, Jamie Spears, hurried to the hospital and saw his daughter tied to a bed, crying and shouting. For Jamie Spears, this period became a desperate struggle, a lawyer later describing it as a battle for life or death. Fear gnawed at him, a fear that his daughter had lost everything. Whispers swirled about an undiagnosed bipolar disorder, with an anonymous source close to the family claiming there is no question she is bipolar. She's had manic episodes for years. Despite this speculation, Britney's specific diagnosis remains shrouded in secrecy. The culmination of these events arrived in February 2008, when a conservatorship was established over Britney. Her father, Jamie Spears, and an attorney assumed control of both her personal and financial affairs. Jamie argued for the conservatorship, insisting it was necessary to protect Britney in every sense of the word. The swiftness with which the conservatorship was granted after his petition underscored the gravity of the situation. However, the story goes beyond the legal paperwork. Spears' erratic behavior during this time was allegedly exacerbated by her relationship with Sam Lutfi. Lutfi, a controversial figure, was accused of drugging and isolating the vulnerable pop star. He later contested this betrayal in a lawsuit against Spears and her family, claiming her mother's book detailing this period contained lies about him. Conversely, Spears' lawyers argued that Lutfi exploited their friendship. They claimed he styled himself as her manager when he had no legitimate role and potentially took advantage of her mental state. Under the conservatorship, Spears' life was subject to intense scrutiny and control. It was claimed that she was forced to take antipsychotic medicine known as lithium. Lithium is used in the treatment of bipolar disorder to help break the cycle of mood swings and decrease the periods of mania. However, Spears has also revealed that the drug has adverse effects as it leaves her feeling like she is drunk and not herself. This informs the various controversies surrounding the use of drugs in handling mental disorders. In addition to the medication, Spears was also subjected to therapy and counseling sessions as a conservatorship measure. Documents in the case show that she was expected to attend therapy sessions for an average of 10 hours per day, 7 days a week, forced to listen to women telling me how they're going to further my success. Spears used these words to raise questions about the efficacy and relevance of such an intense treatment, more so when it feels inorganic or lacks personalization. Was it really required for her to undergo 10 hours of therapy on a daily basis to recover? Or was this another form of manipulation by the conservatorship? Even with such rigorous treatment, Spears remained confined by the structures of the conservatorship, which allowed her father and other people to control many aspects of her life, including financial, personal, and career. Spears stated that she was subjected to a 10-year ordeal and also called the conservatorship abusive. Though the conservatorship was supposed to act in her best interests and keep her safe, the restrictions imposed on her life suggested otherwise. For the first time ever in June 2021, the pop star was permitted to address the judge. In her emotional 23-minute testimony, she pleaded to be allowed out of the conservatorship, saying, "I just want my life back." This was a major milestone in the long struggle of Spears to have her freedom and health back. Spears revealed that the conservatorship had forced her to live a facade. For years, she pretended to be happy and okay with the world while internally struggling with feelings of anger, depression, and trauma. She disclosed that she had been in denial and shock, trying to protect false happiness in the hope that it would eventually materialize. Nevertheless, she courageously told the truth during her testimony and said that she was not happy, could not sleep, got angry, and cried every day. The conservatorship, designed to be a protected shield for her, had turned into a prison, and she was deprived of real joy and true decision-making power. The most painful aspect of Spears' story is that she is not allowed to make any decisions regarding her life on her own. She described how her father, Jamie Spears, exerted power over all aspects of her life, including where to live, her medical decisions, therapy sessions, and her ability to bear children. Spears wished to have more children, but doctors put an IUD that she did not agree to in her body. This was an alarming example of how pervasive the conservatorship was. The people connected with it deeply. It only made it grow. Also, Spears narrated how she was disciplined whenever she failed to obey her dad and team's orders. For example, being compelled to work against her will. This revelation brought doubts as to the usefulness of the conservatorship, while making people question if it was serving her best interests or if it was just simply profiting off of her. The conservatorship also limited her freedom and privacy in a manner that many could not fathom. For such a popular music artist, they subjected her to surveillance, monitoring of her communication, restriction of her activities, work hours, and social interactions. The absence of control over her own life, alongside the strict conservatorship, undoubtedly had a negative effect on Britney's well-being and mental health. This disparity between the picture-perfect facade that Britney presented to the world and the sordid truth hidden within the walls of her home only served to enrage the public and bolster support for her release. In essence, the conservatorship did not serve its intended purpose. It failed to improve Britney Spears' mental health and recovery. Rather, it cultivated a pattern of power, dominance, and manipulation that had markedly negative consequences for her physical and mental health. The splitting of 2007 to 2008 can be considered the low point of Britney Spears' life. While it led to the establishment of the conservatorship, the question remains, was that the appropriate reaction? This is arguably because the tremendous public attention and media focus on her difficulties only made things even worse. A recent occurrence involving Britney Spears and her overall behavior and actions on social media worried her fans about her mental health. In the last year, Spears has shared a significant amount of videos, photos, and captions on Instagram that confused and worried many of her fans. Her posts included harmless stuff like dancing and dangerous ones like a video of her dancing with real-looking knives, stating that knives were not real. Some of the things that were said by fans include the fact that Spears' Instagram account was deactivated and reactivated several times in the same week. Some of her posts have been images of plain white backgrounds or screenshots with insensitive captions, which fanatics try to decipher whether they contain a cry for help or not. In one particularly worrying example, Spears shared a video of her with a bandage on her arm, as well as cuts on her thigh and lower back without revealing how she had gotten the injuries. This, along with her confession earlier that the knives she was dancing with were not real, has caused some of her fans to speculate that Spears might be cutting herself. The same has been observed in her social media accounts, where Spears has been posting repetitive content, including posting the same pictures and videos with almost similar captions, something that has continued to worry her fans about her mental health. People have taken to social media to voice their confusion and dismay with her actions. Phrases like "nothing is right about this" and "where TF is Britney?" Apart from her presence on social networks, her conduct in real life has not reassured anyone either. There are some stories that Spears displays volatile behavior and is extremely unpredictable when not under conservatorship, which has controlled her for more than 13 years. There have been some instances of Spears hysterical in a hotel and police intervention and fears of an involuntary psychiatric hold. Other insiders have also raised concerns for Spears' welfare, as people who know her in person claim that she is completely dysfunctional and financially reckless because she tends to sequester herself and spend recklessly. Yet, Spears has not wanted to listen to anyone or accept help, as she has suspected people close to her of wanting to manage her. This could be attributed to the experiences under the conservatorship, where Britney Spears was not only restricted financially, but also her personal freedom. Another aspect that people have focused on is her relationship with Sam Asghari. They made it official in January 2017 after meeting on the set of her music video, Slumber Party. Then Asghari was by Spears' side during most of the conservatorship years and proposed to her in September of 2021. The relationship was closely knit, with Asghari being Spears' source of support in both personal and professional aspects of her life. He attended all their court proceedings and publicly showed his support to her. To this extent, this positive influence somewhat offsets the oppressive character of the conservatorship. In April 2022, Spears shared the news of her pregnancy with Asghari, but in May 2022, she shared that she had lost the pregnancy and had a miscarriage. This did not stop the couple from planning further, and they tied the knot in June 2022 through a simple wedding held at Spears' home. In the wedding session, Alexander tried to dispute this event, which showed the consequences of her previous issues. The marriage itself was a step toward the future when she could potentially construct her life with more control and freedom. However, their marriage was not one that was to stand the test of time. In August 2023, the couple decided to part ways after getting a divorce on the grounds of irreconcilable differences, which were filed by Asghari. Again, the causes of the said separation are undisclosed. However, some indicators suggest that there were inherent problems within the couple's union. Asghari's manager came out to deny the cheating rumors and state that Asghari has always stood by Spears. At the moment, Spears has not addressed the separation publicly, but has teased her fans on social media about life as a single woman. The breakup of the couple has been a disappointment for those who have put their bets on them. It can only be speculated as to whether the dissolution of the conservatorship had anything to do with what happened. How do you feel about the Spears conservatorship release? Drop your comments and opinions in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, you should like, share, subscribe to this channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this one. And I highly recommend that you watch this video as well. I'll see y'all on the next one.